Hello and welcome to the Dead Spot Cinema Club, the podcast where we subject one of our friends to a significant film from pop culture history and get their honest reaction. So please join me, Mark, Andy.
Hello.
Amy.
Hello.
And Rhys.
Why am I always last? Hi.
As we watch Gladiator. Gladiator was released in the year 2000, directed by Ridley Scott, who at the time was known for films such as Alien and Blade Runner, but later known for films such as Black Hawk Down and Kingdom of Heaven. So a real mixed bag. The budget for the film was $110 million, and it made $465 million at box office. The cast now is very well known, which included Russell Crowe and Joaquin Phoenix, and won several Oscars, including Best Picture and Best Actor. It resonated through pop culture at the time for its timeless plot, great fight scenes, early use of CGI, and a stirring speech delivered by the main character later in the film. So I have obviously seen this film, which is why I'm taking the lead today. I watched it quite a bit when it first came out. I don't think I saw it in cinemas, but again, it was very heavily quoted. And I don't want to repeat what we said for The Fellowship of the Ring, but it used CGI, which was impressive in the day. I like it. I think it's a good film, a good drama, good action, but, you know, it's not something that I'd watch routinely. Andy, have you seen the film?
I've seen the film once, maybe twice. It was a long time ago, probably a year or two after it was released. We rented it from Blockbuster. Me and my dad watched it a couple of times before taking it back.
In disgust.
Always in disgust. I haven't watched it since then. And for some reason, every time I try to think about what the plot is, I keep getting confused with the old film Spartacus, despite them having wildly different aesthetics and everything.
So would you say you liked it at the time?
I did like it at the time. I remember it was very action-packed with a bit of a moving story, or at least what I considered a moving story as a teenager. But otherwise, I don't have anything more to say. No, because I just can't remember that much of it. Not like the specific details.
Yeah, that's fair enough. You may enjoy the rewatch then. Rhys, how about you?
I have never seen Gladiator. I thought I knew a couple of vague references from it, but Andy's just blown that out of the water by saying that a movie called Spartacus exists. So now I'm not sure what I know or what I don't know. So yeah, I basically no experience of this. I think I knew Russell Crowe was in it. That's it. And for a long time, I got Gladiator and Braveheart mixed up because I was like 7 or 8 years old when this came out. So no experience with me.
Yeah, swords in it happened before I was born. Amy, how about you?
No, it's something I've never seen. And listening to all those Ridley Scott films, apparently I've never seen any of them.
Wow.
So the only thing I know about this is him kind of arms out in the amphitheatre, and now I think about it, that might just have been from the DVD cover.
That is the DVD cover, yeah.
So that's all I know is the DVD cover. We had the DVD when I was younger.
But you never watched it?
No. When I told my parents that I'd not seen it, Mum was very shocked. She's like, well, of course you've seen it. I was like, no, definitely not seen it.
Maternal gaslighting.
Of course you've seen it. No idea what happens. And keep saying it doesn't make it true. All I know is Russell Crowe's in it, and that's it.
So you say you've been quite excited to see the film. Is there any reason for that?
I think it's just because, I mean, I've agreed this isn't the aim of the podcast, but it's just something that I feel like I should have seen, and this gives me a good reason to do it.
Okay, fair enough.
Then she won't feel like a fraud in all the Gladiator fan clubs she's in now.
Yeah.
The Gladiator t-shirt your mum bought you.
I haven't even seen it. Yeah, you have. Wear it now. Go back to your room with plastered in Gladiator posters that she's put up. Every Christmas, people ask, what do I get Amy? And your mum's just like,
oh, she loves Gladiator.
So just get her anything.
Get Gladiator theme stuff. She loves Gladiator.
Well, you get a sword and you're like, thanks.
Another one, guys. They're great.
Just a clunk as it drops onto the pile that you used to sit on. I've lost control of this metaphor so much.
So we'll skip Andy then, because you may have some vague memories of this film. But Rhys, so what do you think this film is?
I'm not going to lie. I think very similarly to Amy, I can picture the cover from whatever it's on right now, Prime or Netflix. It's probably on one of them because I've seen the cover. I have very recently seen the trailer for the sequel because it was, usually I don't watch trailers, but it was in the cinema, so it was unavoidable. And I was like, this looks fucking incredible. So I gather it's going to be about Colosseums and gladiators because I know what Gladiator is. And I know a bit about that kind of time. I've been to Rome, so
Oh.
I've got some sense of what it was like. I'm really interested in that era, but as far as kind of like having an idea of what's going on, I don't know what a fucking story would be like that is set in this kind of time, especially one that involves someone who's probably going to be dead by the end of it, because those guys did not spend long being gladiators. So I don't know. I'm guessing there's going to be some tiny little love story surrounded by some fights in a coliseum. I'm here for it.
Amy, how about you? What kind of film do you think this is?
Well, that's where I'll start with. I've also travelled. I have been to the Colosseum. I feel like we're going to get almost like someone rising up the ranks type story. Like he starts off maybe pulled off the street and he becomes the best gladiator. And that's what the whole story is about. And you mentioned a speech. So maybe he does a speech and that's what makes him the best gladiator.
Yeah, it's I'm Spartacus, I think he says.
Bro, you fuck about, but that's what I thought was in this film until he said that there's a movie called Spartacus. I thought, right, well, the one thing I was like, I'm ready to say that when you asked me what I knew. I was like, well, the one thing I know, something about I'm Spartacus. No, I fucking referenced that in an episode when I was. I feel like a fucking idiot now. So.
Oh yeah, Gladiator. Is that the one with Ben-Hur? Yeah.
Stop it now. Stop it now. Stop it.
The film that I'm confused with is from like the 70s or 80s or something. Or maybe
Yeah,
even
Spartacus is
earlier.
old. Yeah.
Yeah.
Unless you've been watching the series recently.
No.
Which was designed to rival Game of Thrones. They interpret that as just add nudity. Any other predictions?
Oh, you said Joaquin Phoenix is in it, so
Yeah.
that's a good point. I've got a good knowledge of which actors have been hench at one point, and he's not one of them. So, so I gather he's going to be like an emperor, like fucking Caesar type figure. So the fact that he's in it, and you said he's like won an Oscar, obviously like big emperor roles is going to be important. So I'm feeling there's going to be a storyline where like Russell Crowe's going to have to fuck over the emperor somehow by doing a big gladiator fight with a fucking silverback gorilla or something.
I did say he won the Oscar.
I feel like he's going to have a friend that dies in the arena at some point, and that's going to lead him on to revenge for something. But yeah,
fair enough.
I like the idea that Amy, you said he'll like go up through the ranks being a gladiator, as if you can be a shit gladiator for a bit and survive long enough. Like it was very much an in or out situation.
He was an apprentice gladiator.
Yeah.
Then he got paid.
He
and
lost
now
a
he's the
few
main
arms, and then
He passed his apprenticeship, and then he was.
and now he's okay, gladiator.
sitting guilds and murdering poor people.
For some reason, in my head, it just had like a Pokemon League sort of situation where like, the shittest gladiator is like Brock, and like all the new gladiators come and fight him, and then when they beat him, they go up, but he doesn't die. They just
They
fight
get
him.
badges.
See, I'll tell you what. So my vision of this movie is that it's very like close to reality and grounded and just kind of a historical movie. That's always been my feeling, the representation is. However, having seen the trailer for the second one, they fill a coliseum with water and take boats around the Colosseum and have like a boat war. And I'm now like, is that just like a wild escalation because of today? Or is Gladiator actually going to be a bit far-fetched?
In real historic Rome, they did do that to the Colosseum. They had, they filled it up with water and had naval battles. I'm pretty sure.
And
that can't be true.
Someone looked it up. I feel like that's
seen how many holes are in the Colosseum, right?
I don't think they were.
That motherfucker is not holding water.
There's a hole in the vomitorium.
How can that be true?
Oh my god, they're real.
The Romans were very clever.
I wasn't lying.
Hey, the Romans invented the best concrete in the world. They had aqueduct. They invented, most of the roads we still use today.
I feel like if fucking water battles were a thing, they'd still be a thing. That sounds incredible.
The Romans are famous for their love of entertainment. The bloodier the better. The Romans also used the Colosseum to host mock sea battles, which were referred to as, now this is going to be absolutely butchered here, Numacia?
Yeah.
So yeah, sea battles.
Yeah, sea battles.
That's insane.
I get a point for that. No.
You're winning this game show that we're hosting.
Well, I take it back because I was wondering whether or not it was set in reality. I guess it is.
I will risk a minor spoiler and go straight into the warnings and say this is a historical film.
Okay, that's fine.
But it is a fiction within history, and that'll make sense afterwards.
I just googled Colosseum filled with water, and the first question is Colosseum filled with water and sharks.
Yeah, I got that one as well. But it said it was
Just a gladiator fighting sharks.
That's so funny.
Does he have to swim, or the shark? Is it shallow water?
I mean, it can't be that shallow if you've got giant ships on it.
Does it say what type of shark, or is it just like the shittest little
Oh,
shark you can get?
It says
Oh,
that
they had a
says-
separate Colosseum which was built on the edge of a body of water.
Is
So
it called
was just
Venice?
it was just like a lifted platform above water. That is a very silly thing to think.
It is like Thunderbird style. At bottom of the Colosseum split open in two, and they open the baths underneath it.
That's where Gladiators Are You Ready came from. They were the own Gladiators, Are You Ready? Gladiator 1. Rocket ship comes up at the Colosseum.
they handmade miniature ships just for fighting people.
Miniature. How miniature?
About 2 centimeters. It's the game battleships.
It's like when you go to those marina lakes and there's guys with little remote control boats. It's just
Yes, it's there. To be fair, this one does say that they also did fill the actual Colosseum with water using sluice gates.
We're gonna have to get to the bottom of this.
Yeah. Forget the entire
this,
podcast
this
out.
is not covered in the
on
film.
Right.
the water.
We no longer do a movie podcast. All right, we're gonna have to get to the bottom of Mythbusters.
We're now a history podcast, yeah.
Yeah, swapped. It'd be easy. So no more.
Other than that warning, only other thing to say is it was 2000. CGI was in its early days. Some of it may have aged. I can't remember it being terrible though, even when I've watched it more recently. This plot, it might seem a bit generic now, but at the time it was quite original. And I think it has inspired other similar films to try it.
What's the age certificate on it?
15.
Okay. Do you feel like there's anything outlandish in it that an infant shouldn't watch? Hypothetically speaking.
It depends where your line is, but I mean, I'm sure we could read what the certificate warns. Well, I'm pretty sure it's just going to be about the graphic violence. Yeah, no one goes into the gladiator arena gets tickled to death.
Spoilies.
Have you said the runtime?
What's the
No, I
Go
haven't.
right.
2 hours, 35 minutes.
What was wrong with people between 2000 and 2005? Did you guys just not have much on?
Yeah.
Was everyone just like, oh, well, we were all kind of thinking Y2K had happened, so we've got all this free time now. So we'll just watch fucking 3-hour films.
No, it's an epic.
I don't know what that means.
Do you remember any warnings, Andy, to give them?
Well, with it being historic, there is mild sex and nudity, there is intense graphic combat, there is severe gore, and mild profanity, but there's no smoking.
Good.
I don't know how I feel about watching Russell Crowe, because isn't he a baddie now? I thought we stopped liking Russell Crowe, didn't we? In like
Are you thinking of Mel Gibson?
mid
Yeah.
No, didn't Russell Crowe become a thing? Has he not done
There was some bits about him doing Noah, but I can't remember what it was. I think he just became a bit similar to Mel Gibson, became a bit religious and pushed that on people, but I don't think he's been in trouble for it.
I want to Google, is Russell Crowe bad now?
Do we
just-
like Russell Crowe?
I'm in the habit now of just Googling the actors in these films. And being
Yeah.
like, Russell
How do
Crowe-
I feel about this? Let me just Google it. How do we all feel about Russell Crowe now?
It doesn't really matter. His last role was like Zeus in 4, wasn't it? So it's not doing great.
Oh, that.
That's it. Yeah. We just see it at the same time, I think. So apparently he's difficult to work with on set.
He turned down Aragorn in Lord of the Rings. Look at
He
that.
did. I think he regrets that though. But then he said Viggo Mortensen did a good job, so he's fine with it.
Okay.
Limited.
Yeah, he hasn't done anything crazy racist.
Went off on one now.
No, he hasn't, done any sex crimes or anything, so he's all right.
Just going to cut that for when he has. And then I'm going to say yet as a cap.
At time of recording,
Yeah.
Russell Crowe has not done any
I
sex
know
crimes.
alleged.
There's no ongoing investigation into Russell Crowe's activities that we are aware of. He's just a bit of a diva on set, we decided was the bad thing
Joaquin
about him.
Phoenix, though. I mean, he's got a bit of
Yeah.
a look to him, and he's probably done a bit of mischief.
Think of the engagement if this episode comes out the day that's in the headline. So clean slate the guy, clean slate. The headline.
He just says he's difficult to work with, no other issues. Fucking buzz in to go and watch this. I am excited we picked a film that's less than 3 hours long.
Just don't pause it and it will be, yeah.
Are there any other additions, or are we going to be watching the same one, Amy? We should probably check that.
Oh, yeah. Right, let's go and just see where it's available for free.
Amy, should we just watch the second one and not tell these guys?
I haven't seen the second one, so you can spoil it for me.
just watch number 2 and be like, guys, the boats were so fucking I love the boat. fucking best. These guys are idiots.
Just imagine that. They watched that and we're both just like,
Paul Mescal was like 8 when this came out. What are you talking about? Right, I will leave you to go and watch it on Netflix now.
Okay.
We'll meet back here when you've watched the film.
Amazing. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained? Is this not why you are here?
Okay, Amy, Rhys, you've now seen the film, I hope. So how did you find it?
Yes, I've seen it.
With this one, I only saw it a couple hours ago, so it's pretty good for me. So it's still quite fresh.
Nice and fresh.
Mhm.
How about you, Rhys? When did you watch it?
I watched it like a week ago. I did watch it in one, and I paid attention for 75% of the time. I think I'll have less to contribute to this than Joaquin Phoenix did to the movie. So,
Okay. Made any notes for us, Amy?
Yeah, so start off with some nice writing, bit of pretext, bit of backstory. I even wrote down what it was. It was 180 AD, which means nothing to me at all.
well, yeah, it was talking about Germanic barbarians against somebody, wasn't it? It was telling you what that battle was.
Honestly, I was really confused to start in a battle. I don't know why. I just assumed he was going to start as a gladiator. when we started, and he was obviously doing pretty well in the army, I was like, what happens?
Yucks.
I actually like that because I knew nothing about this movie, obviously, like I said. So when it was in the battle, I was like, oh, we're going to get some arc here then. Okay, cool. Because I know this is the Gladiator and I know enough about the Roman Empire to know that the ones in the war weren't the ones in the Colosseum. I pictured Knight's Tale. I was like, this is going to be like Knight's Tale where he starts one and then works himself up style. I was like, okay, I'm buzzing for this now because it's not just starting with fights in a Colosseum. Yeah.
So at this point, I start trying to work out what's about to happen to make him go from general to gladiator. And I've written, did he do some dishonor, which I know is not grammatically correct in the slightest, but I couldn't work out what the correct sentence was.
Do a dishonor.
Did we then get the guy on the horse coming back? I've said he didn't look so good. Then I realised that he didn't have a head anymore. So that'll be why. And then I got really excited. But then there was a dog. And I wrote, look, a dog, really, really big. As usual, if something happens to the dog, I'm not going to be impressed. Spoilers, dog was fine the whole time.
I mean, the dog's never heard from again.
No.
yeah, we don't see him after the opening scene.
I have some bad news for you, Amy.
So long life in the forest. It's another dog.
I
We have
mean-
dog babies.
That dog for real is dead too, just so you know.
I got really confused. There were a lot of camera cuts and I had no idea what was going on. Like when the battle started, I was also trying to eat McDonald's fries at the same time and write down with the other hand. But I was just like, I have no idea what's going on right now.
Very choppy editing. Yeah.
But I did obviously feel very philosophical because I wrote down, but hey, that's battle for you.
Amy, did you know anything about kind of battles in general?
I didn't learn about battles. I knew that the battles happened between the Romans and the various barbarians, but I didn't know about specific warfare.
I was very much in a similar situation as I was with another movie where I didn't know which side I was supporting apart from the side that was on the cover of the film. I was like, I don't know who the baddies are. I'm guessing from the word Germanic, this is in Germany. Right? Is that me being stupid? I don't know.
Yeah, Germany was like an ethnic group rather than a country back then, so it was different tribes.
Right.
But didn't they call everyone barbarians pretty much that wasn't them?
Yeah,
Yeah, wasn't
And-
that like a slur to just get
Yeah.
people on proper
Yeah, it means
style?
people that speak gibberish. Yeah.
They go, bar, bar, bar.
Yeah, that was
Sorry, what was that
basically it.
They go, bar, bar, bar.
That seems
That's
racist,
why
bro.
they did it.
It's okay because we were barbarians at one point.
Did we get cancelled for saying barbarians now? Is that
No, it's
this
historical.
going to haunt us in 10 years?
I like that you think in 10 years people will be going, oh yeah, Dead Spot Cinema Club, let's listen to them.
Oh, I'll
like
have
that.
left you guys long. I'll be
See, that's-
solo by then. It'll be me and Jordan Peterson doing our own thing.
So this was the Marco-Manic Wars. So it's the Marco-Manic tribe.
This is height of the Roman Empire, though, isn't it? This is just
This is just before the fall. It's laid out that, this is the last battle against the Germanic tribes before they all give up and Marcus Aurelius, can retire from all these wars. But, they carried on for a while after he died in reality. But also at this point, the Germanic tribes weren't just, a bunch of guys in the woods wearing furs with axes. They had their own sort of armies at this point. They had spears. They all had the same spear. They didn't really wear armor, and the armor the Romans is wearing is wrong for the period as well. But it's what we recognize as Roman armor. So
they were portrayed as just forest people, not just of an army, which is what they would have been. Because
yeah.
I mean, really, this is people who knew the Romans were coming for centuries because
They've been fighting the Romans for 100 years at this point, easy, yeah.
Yeah, they're not going to be as shocked by the turtle formation as they were. once Marcus Aurelius died and Commodus took over, that is usually cited as the start of the decline of the Roman Empire, because it just shifted their values, what they were aiming for. And like it alludes to it a bit in this movie where they kind of talk about the ethos of the Romans and what Rome means and stuff. But it was basically when everything started going to shit. And that's why gladiatorial battles became so heavy, because they were a form of propaganda, basically. So he needed to get the people on side, because if the truth came out and he didn't distract them with shit like that, everyone would realise that Empire was falling, and it would have fallen quicker.
We then cut to, now I need to warn you that I'm not good at names of people. If I get names right, it's purely because the subtitles are on and it'll say what their name is there. So there are a lot of people who just have random words as names during the entire film.
With us at the end, yeah.
Yes. Then we go to the purple man, who I do guess might be the Emperor. And it's not for a while that I realised that purple is Dumbledore. And I got very excited then.
Yeah.
So at one point they call him Rome's greatest general. Again, just threw me more to what was going to happen. I've put, he really gets himself in a pickle to go from general to, I'm still trying to work out what happens. Maximus meets Dumbledore. And then we get
this crossover Rule 34 you've written.
He likes Maximus more than Joaquin Phoenix, which he's not happy about. He's a jealous boy.
In this movie is, what the fuck, Maximus is his name in it. Yeah, I keep forgetting. I just kept calling him Gladiator for the whole time.
Mr. Gladiator, yeah.
But is he meant to be Marcus Aurelius' son as well in this?
No, Marcus Aurelius is sort of mentoring him as like his favourite general, and that is making his son jealous.
Okay, I thought, because he calls Commodus brother a couple of times.
So it's like they're almost raised together for a long time, maybe, or they were both, very close to Marcus Aurelius. Yeah. But yeah, it's not his son.
Didn't they kind of like adopt people back then?
They still do it now, Andy. We then see, and I couldn't not look at this when we were in all of their tents. They're still out on some sort of battlefield somewhere, wherever it is. And there are so many massive statues all over those tents. Someone had to, because it was someone's job probably to just carry statues around with them the entire time.
Must have been, yeah, slave.
Yeah, but they could have been doing something else much more useful than carrying 30 statues around.
No, just hire more slaves.
Like being free, right, guys?
Maximus says he wants to go home, and it looks like he's not going to be able to go home because Marcus Aurelius wants him to take over from him instead of Commodus.
Commodore 64, yeah.
Instead of Commodore 64. We start to hear music themes that I definitely know. The tune that plays around Maximus a lot is a very common piece of music that I've heard a lot.
Yeah, someone goes, Gladiator, are you ready?
In reality, yeah, he says Marcus Aurelius at this point wants Maximus to sort of steward in the rule of the Senate and end the reign of emperors in Rome. Again, not historically true. In reality, Commodus was mentored to be the next emperor by Marcus Aurelius. So this is just bullshit to make a story, basically.
So yeah, he then has to tell Commodus that he's not going to be the next Caesar. And then he hugs him, and I stopped looking at that point because I know it's not going to go well. I had to get Andy to tell me what was going on because I refused to look at the screen. He said Andy is saying he's giving him an extreme hug.
But he was so bad at telling him that he wasn't going to be the next Caesar. He was proper poking the bears. Like, you're just not a good person. But it's not your fault that you're terrible. It's my fault, but you're still terrible.
He does say at one point, you're a bad person. And then he pauses for a bit and he goes, but that is my fault. It's too late by that point. You've already called him a bad person.
Learned how to give appraisals on LinkedIn.
The death bit was pretty crazy as well, because he kills him and then it seems within seconds he's like, guards, go get my buddy because my dad's dead. And then he comes in and is like, you won't believe what just happened. He's dead. I need to wash my hands, but he's dead.
Goes to get killed, obviously bests them all, gets away.
Goes to get killed. Like it was his choice.
Goes to Dignitas.
We then get to the only bit of the film that I had big questions about. He kind of makes his journey from Germany to where he lives, which at the time I thought was Italy, but it's now not. I now know since then was it northern Spain?
Just Spain.
But those mountains that he went over on that kind
I'm learning this right now. Thank you, guys. I thought they called him Spaniard because it was just a mistaken,
Yeah, I did for a long time.
I just assumed he got mistaken for Spaniard and was like, yeah, cool, call me that. That'll hide my real identity.
Yeah. All those mountains that he's seen going over, I don't know where in Europe those mountains would be.
Would they be the Pyrenees, maybe?
I feel like they should be, but they looked more, they were like like they were African
They looked
mountains.
Alps.
They
Oh
did
yeah, I
look-
suppose they were quite
they looked-
sandy, weren't they? Yeah. Climate change.
Climate change isn't real. Maybe it's Amy that's going to solo with Jordan Peterson, actually.
I shouldn't have kept on.
Wow, Gladiator was a good film.
He then gets home and he's too late, and I just get very angry at this point because his son's dead. It didn't need to die, and you see it, and it's just he was angry, I was angry.
I was texting this whole time, guys.
This was the most heart-wrenching part of the film.
This
I
is the
shouldn't-
scene Russell Crowe improv crying at some dummy feet that there was no body attached to, just
I'm
some rubber
feeling
feet.
quite bad now because I'm remembering that after the first battle, I was like, I'm just going to watch my phone until I see a Colosseum.
That's like 40% away through the film.
Because I was like, right, he's the battle, so he was a general. He's meant to be the boss now. He's killed his dad. It's going to be a story of betrayal, and he's going to come back. And then I was like, it wasn't captivating me enough to keep me looking. So I was like, I'll look back when the sun is shining, and that'll be, and that was probably about 15 minutes later. So yeah, I've missed all of this. So thank you for telling me for the first time that we actually witnessed his family dying because
Yeah, we witnessed some motivation for revenge. Yeah.
I feel a bit.
Well, when I saw them, like they were hung up, I was like, they told to do that, or were the Romans just absolutely terrible people? But then later on, they say they were crucified, and I was like, oh yeah, the Romans were terrible people. I forgot about that.
Yeah, they did shit like that. They got the message that he'd escaped and then beat him there and killed his oh no, they were going to kill his family anyway, weren't they?
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
they still beat him there.
He then passes out and gets taken to Algeria. We had to look up where it was, but it was Algeria. Why do they think he's Spanish? Is he Spanish? In my head, it was like, well, if he's fighting the Romans, he must be Italian. It hadn't even entered my mind that he could not be Italian. We then find out this is pretty much where he's going to become a gladiator. See how good he is, train him up, make him fight. The next bit that I've written down is when you cut to the scene and he's trying to like scrape off his tattoo. We then see them fight for the first time kind of as gladiators against other people in some sort of makeshift arena.
This is graphic. This is
It's
visceral, this bit, isn't it? You don't see enough slashes in movies now, I think. Not just a stab, because a stab seems like an easy thing to create on screen. But the slash is like, you see it go across and like split the skin open, and it's, how old is this movie? It's like 25 years old, and I haven't seen practical effects better than that since.
Yeah, I'm starting to feel at this point like I've been tricked into watching some sort of horror film because it gets very, Rhys will be happy, because then we get to Rome, and we see that beautiful Rome CGI.
That's a shame, innit? That's a shame.
And then we're pretty much in the Colosseum, and I feel like this has progressed really quickly from him first getting caught to now just being in the Colosseum. I did think he wouldn't get here till the very end of the film.
Yeah, so at the first few fights, like he's just in it to kill the guys and get out of there, isn't he? He's like, he doesn't want to be there. He's kill those people. He gets sort of a little pep talk before he goes to Rome, and it's like, you'll earn your freedom eventually if you actually get people to like you and they want a good show. So think about that next time. Yeah, you start to see that a bit more in the later fights, but also his motivation changes, which I'm sure you've got in your notes.
What surprised me was that the famous line, "Are you not entertained?" came when he was still in Algeria.
Yeah, he just battered like 6 guys in armor, and he's just like, "What? Are you not entertained?" And then realized actually people enjoyed watching that, and they were entertained. So they answered the question.
Well, no, I think it was like a bit sarky, wasn't it? Because I think the idea was he was like, right, they're here to watch me die. And then he killed them all and was like, is that not what you wanted? Did you not want me to put up a fight? They were like, oh, wait, like, because usually that would have been the kind of setup that this is not the timeline of how gladiatorial fights happen. But like the idea was that you were just there supporting your guys and they would just get slaves in to get murdered most of the time. So you were there just to watch your guys murder slaves a lot of the time when there wasn't a formal, like, the 2 gladiators fighting one. So that may have been one that was just, he's there as fodder to just get murdered, and everyone was there willing to just cheer on the Algerian fighters. To me, that was trying to portray like a them going, oh shit, like there's more to this than just cheering on our guys. If it's a fair fight, we can appreciate that too. But yeah, I do think they missed a trick, because the build-up was really quick, wasn't it? That's kind of what you're saying. It went straight into, like, the biggest fight, when really, like, obviously gladiatorial combat's been around for fucking millennia. Like, it's not new, it wasn't a new thing because of Rome, but they certainly were the biggest to, like, make it a huge spectator sport and, like, really make the most of it. And Commodus had a big part in that. But the only sort of hint they had towards that was a poster that 2 guys had in a bar outside the Colosseum. Did you remember, like, the poster that just said gladiator fight, basically. That could have been such a big thing. It could have been like, we could have seen like the build up of the use of the Colosseum for gladiator fights and people like coming more and more. Him maybe having to work his way up to fighting in the Colosseum to get some revenge, but instead it's just like he's gone there, he's in the biggest fight. I would have really liked to see a kind of working up the ranks kind of scenario, even if it was
World tour.
because you wouldn't have had the right to go in and fight unless people knew he was the general, but nobody does, do they? You had to have status to go and fight in those big battles. They wouldn't have just rolled in some random, so it's like you would have liked to see him earn it, I think.
Yeah, but he was just sent in with all his mates to pretty much die in the recreation of the Battle of Carthage. So
Yeah, they were just a losing team.
I guess, yeah.
Also, that poster that you mentioned, that annoyed me that was in Latin. I don't have the words in Latin and have everyone speak English.
Apart from his Spanish son who speaks gibberish.
In the subtitles, it said
language.
foreign language.
Like that poster would not have existed, so you don't need to put writing on it. It could have just been a picture, or there would have been more writing, one of the two.
Yeah, they mostly had pictures to symbolise what businesses were doing, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no one saw a picture of two gladiators fighting outside the Colosseum and went, yeah, but what's it talking about?
So then we cut a bit to, I don't know what her name is, creepy incest daddy issue boy. What, him and his sister? Commodus. What was her name? You're all sexist, not know what her name is.
Is it Narcissa?
Lucilla?
Yeah, that sounds like a familiar name. We'll go for that.
Yeah, she's Lucilla. Commodus's sister.
We then meet Eyebrow Man for the first time.
Well put in there.
Put the wig on. And then it's a bit that I think I might have seen before. This little clip, maybe I kind of walked in while it was on. Lucius comes to like see the gladiators and kind of has that conversation with him through the bars.
That's where he sort of realizes, that's Lucius.
Who he is.
Yeah, he realizes who Lucius is. He realizes, oh shit, the Emperor's actually going to be attending these games.
And then it was straight into where they recreate the Battle of Carthage, which I thought was quite nice because so far we've just had groups on groups fighting, one-on-one fighting. It was quite nice to have it didn't work out for them. Obviously, the aim was to show what happened,
show how amazing Rome were with the chariots. And
I liked that there were lady gladiators in this one too.
And he's hidden his identity for this battle, because he knows the Emperor's watching. Somewhat important for about 5 minutes. So.
And then again. I've written, surely it's too early for them to meet, but they do meet at this point, and it feels like again that was something that I assumed would wait until the very end to happen.
You think he'd be an anonymous gladiator for at least a few more battles, didn't you?
And he was able to get the crowd on his side very quickly, pretty much immediately. Everyone was like, "Yeah."
Yeah, I thought that was terrible advice from Proxima. Was it? Like, who's like, I didn't win my freedom by being the fastest at killing. It was by winning the crowd. I just thought, you can win the crowd all you like, but if you're not the fastest at killing, you're dead.
Yeah, and then there's a bit more with, I've called him Lord Piss Pants here, who just wants love. No one wants to give him that love, and that's where all of his issues are from.
I've got a note here. I think it's the same point. I've put daddy issues. Why don't they love me?
Maybe. I mean, that could have been any time he's on screen, to be fair.
Yeah, which scene is this, guy? It's a narrow it down. Genuinely don't know where we are.
So then he tries to pretty much get him killed. He says, okay, you're going to fight against this undisputed champ that I let go, but who felt like coming back.
5 years in retirement.
Yeah. You're like, you know what? I'd love to try and die again.
Yeah, what did they say to him to come back? Surely the Emperor's just going, you are doing it. Yeah, but, if you're retired.
The one thing they do say about gladiators is their longevity is definitely 5 years post-retirement is a time that a gladiator's at its peak. Like, they either earned their freedom and unlimited sex and grapes, in which case they are just fat and a hedonistic blob until they die, or they died. They weren't like doing pull-ups in their room waiting for the day to come back from retirement.
He's going to call me any day now, guys. He's going to call. You'll see.
Yeah, actually, I do fancy one more roll of the death dice.
Escape death one too many times.
It's just so boring waking up every day.
So no, I don't even know if my 3-headed helmet still fits.
So then you get a very elaborate battle with several tigers. Mix it up.
This is a weird setup with the tigers, right?
Yeah,
I can't understand the logistics of how those tigers are tied up. You get a zoom in of a chain being pulled, and then a zoom in of 3 dudes almost stumbling, holding the chain. And it's like, is that anchored somewhere? Or is it just these 3 dudes holding a chain?
They were cheaper than a nail.
Did you hear I've just called it the Wilhelm scream, but for big cats? He then bests, surprise, surprise, the guy who's not fought for 5 years. And is told to kill him, but doesn't kill him.
So was he just going to do the opposite of whatever the Emperor said? So if the Emperor said
Seemed like, didn't
spare
it?
him,
Yeah.
he would have just killed him.
Yeah, I think he just wants to piss the Emperor off so much that
Yeah.
the Emperor will come at him, doesn't he? He wants the Emperor to know that nobody else can deal with him, so he has to.
Even at this point, even one of the remaining tigers is kind of interested now, just like listening in.
Cheering on. Maximus the Merciful.
He's not happy that you didn't kill him. He's getting, in a mood again. And as he's leaving, he sees someone from the army. I don't know what his position was with him, some sort of junior officer, if he was kind of helping him way back at the start. Sees him and kind of says, "The army's nearby, we will help you."
That Quintus.
Yes. And then at this point, I've just hoped that Proximus is still getting paid, because Maximus is doing really well.
You're more worried about the slave owner.
I was like, "Are you getting paid for this?" Because technically, they're all here still, doing a good job.
I might say he's doing well by proxy. And he's just walked off screen at my pun. Fuck you.
They're the only notes he made. Possible puns.
This is ancient Rome. I've got puns, bro.
Commodore knows that everyone's getting spied on by this point, and he goes and talks to his nephew, and I'm, as expected, terrified that he's just Lucy. What was her name?
Lucilla.
That she's going to come back, and her son's just dead somewhere. So again, I had a little bit of time where I didn't look at the screen because I was worried he was going to die.
Is this the bit where the little lad is like fighting and pretending to be Maximus?
Yeah,
I genuinely was like, oh, Commodus is going to murder this boy right now.
Yeah.
That I was kind of emotionally preparing for that.
What I don't get is he seemed to have get the whole plan from the kid. So does that mean his mum told this almost 8-year-old a plan to overthrow
The entire
Emperor?
conspiracy. Yeah.
I felt like it was the people that he's been using as spies told him.
One of them cottons on then that they need to follow the senator guy as well, didn't he?
Yeah.
Like, oh, fuck.
Mm.
Yeah.
Okay, good, because 7-year-olds are snitches.
They sort of cotton on that they're being followed and they have to arrange a meeting without anyone knowing the senator's in on it.
Yeah.
Which doesn't work, but...
We then get a really weird use of CGI. There's just two people talking through bars. It was the most obvious CGI of apart from obviously all of Rome that I've seen in this entire thing. I couldn't work out why they'd not be able to just have the two actors face to face for that little bit. And then they all get ambushed.
Oh, is that where he makes his escape?
Yeah, so obviously they're told by this point that he's going to be going out getting his army coming back. He manages to escape, but then he goes and the guy that
Quintus.
Quintus, yeah.
Quintus was the guy that screwed him over, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, it's not Quintus.
Cicero.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Quintus is the baddie, kind of.
Yeah, isn't Quintus like the advisor to Commodus?
Yeah.
So they ambush
he's the quintessential henchman.
and he can walk away. And at this point in the film, there are 10 minutes left, and I'm so confused to how they're going to fit everything in the next 10 minutes.
Yeah, because it's so much nothing into the first hour and 50 minutes. How are they going to fit more nothing into the next 10 minutes?
Commodore looks like a man now who hasn't slept in several weeks. He looks like he has gone insane.
Joaquin Phoenix in this movie goes from looking like Joaquin Phoenix in 2001 to Joaquin Phoenix now in this one movie. He's so aged by the end of this.
So then he tells his sister that she's going to keep Lucius alive. He's going to keep her alive unless she does something that he doesn't like. But she turns away from him when he tries to kiss her.
Prude.
Then have the fight.
Turns around and then gets like stuck in a tumble dryer.
Oh.
Just waiting to see which of you get that one. Interesting. No laugh from Andy, but a laugh from Mark and Amy there.
Oh, step Emperor, I'm stuck.
It's laundry day, okay? We're bad people.
So we then get the lead up to the fight between Commodore and Maximus. Stabs him, covers it up.
Yes.
And then they kind of go up and they start fighting. It kind of goes as you would expect it to go, where even though he's injured, he's a good fighter and he bests him. But at this point, I've got no more notes because for the rest of the film, I'm crying too much to know what's going on. Because
he keeps having his little zones in and out of reality, seeing heaven. So many easy openings for Commodus to finish him off while he's just staring in space and drooling, but he doesn't do it.
Did Commodus think this plan through at all. There was no way, even if he kills Maximus, the crowd won't adore him for it. They'll be pissed.
Yeah,
off
I
that
think
killed
he was
Maximus.
hoping, he's like, oh, but I bested the strongest fighter, so I must be the super strongest.
Yeah.
But this is probably the most historically accurate bit of the movie as it relates to gladiator fights, though, because this was Commodus's bag. Like, he would fix fight.
He
Commodus
got
was a
in the
gladiator.
ring, yeah.
Like, he didn't just get in the ring that one. Like, he was a gladiator. That's how he made gladiator fights so popular, is that he like built it all up so that he was top gladiator in Rome, and people had to like earn their way to fight him, but he would just fix the fights, and he did that through various means. Obviously, he would just have other people break bones and fuck people up before they come in, or he'd literally just fight children and have like they would just be fucking big kids, or he'd have them have their like weapons blunted and stuff. So he just fixed fights, and I think this is just a mild nod to the writers maybe being like, oh no, we did at some point Google some of these guys to see what see what they did. So I enjoyed that aspect of it, but you are watching that through the eyes of a spectator being like, I've just seen this guy over the last few weeks fuck everybody up that I know who's a great gladiator, and I've just seen him walk in the ring limping and holding his ribs. They know something's up. It's so bizarre. It could have been like, it should have been something way more subtle. I don't know why they didn't do that. Like, they had time.
So then, once he's done the fighting, he does a speech.
Go on, Rhys. Can you remember the speech?
My name is Marcus. Nope. My name is... What is
Just
it? My
said it.
name is
So
Maximus Decimus Meridius, father to a murdered son, husband to a murdered wife, and owner of this cool sword.
the Emperor asks him to take his helmet off. He doesn't. He has a plan to kill him, doesn't he? He breaks the arrow. He finds a broken arrowhead. He plans to just stab him there and then, but then he sees Lucius is there, so he doesn't want to do it. The Emperor's like, chill, mate. I like gladiators. We're bezies. Can you take your helmet off so I can get to know you? And he doesn't do it. And he turns his back and goes to leave. He goes, whoa, that's not on. That's not cool. Can't take
The
it back to the
exact
Emperor.
words that he used.
And he demands that, like, all the soldiers start getting antsy, and he turns around, reveals himself. He does it, big dramatic reveal that, like you say, we wanted him to be anonymous for several battles at least. And it's like literally 5 minutes after he's decided to wear this helmet. That helmet was like the cover of like the extended edition DVD as well. That was meant to be a big deal, and it's like literally like 4 minutes of the film he wears this.
So yeah, then that's it. He wins, but then he also dies, and he gets to go and be with his family, which is all he wanted.
Yeah, then Lucilla gives that speech. That's it. Commodus is dead. No more problems with the Roman Empire from here on out. We've fixed everything. All it took was Maximus and Commodus to die, and that's it. Done and dusted. Back on track, guys.
In real life, does Lucius become emperor at some point?
I think I'm getting that wrong.
It gets very messy here because there's so many civil wars. I think this is like the most turbulent time. We have the most emperors in a short amount of time.
And
By
Commodus
his
had like
coach.
8 potential heirs when he was murdered. He basically, his wife's personal trainer killed him in the bath.
Okay, so
it was like a whole like conspiracy to murder him because everyone fucking hated him. All the people close to him hated him. They knew he was fucking up Rome, and then like basically his wife and his PT were fucking and came up with this plan to kill him in the bath. Not sure why his personal trainer was with him in the bath. There's probably something to that. Just an innocent rub down after some sit-ups, probably.
yeah. Don't you get in like the sauna with your personal trainer after a workout?
Yeah, once he died, there was a bit of a claw for power and claw for direction for Rome as well. It was a huge shift when he came to power because he was like, okay, we no longer stand for what Marcus Aurelius stood for. And then everyone kind of disagreed for a long time, but then fell for the propaganda, so got on board because they thought Rome was doing great. And then he died, and everyone was like, what the fuck do we even want now?
So it was Year of the Five Emperors, it was known as, after Commodus died. And 5 people all claimed to be emperor in the same year. I think 2 of them died trying. So it just makes her very cheesy speech just land a little bit worse than it already does when it's like, actually, things were pretty shit after this. I mean, there is more politics than you probably remember. Like, there was talks about, like, using up all the grain reserves on these games and how Rome's going to be in a famine in 3 years, and it's gone through, like, 20 years worth of surplus grain or something. So, yeah, that sort of hints at the short-sightedness of Commodus in putting these games on to make people forget he's fucking over Rome. So that was hinted at a little bit.
They did such a shit job of exposition in this film, really, didn't they? Like, all the exposition
Yeah.
was dialogue. Like, there was no... You didn't get to see anything. There was no imagery to try and, like, tell a story. It was just, oh, just listen to these guys tell you the story. It was
Yeah.
either fighting or talking. That's all that happened in this movie.
It was all
It would've been
character
really nice to
focused.
see-
Yeah.
It would have been nice to see, like, the grain reserves drying out and workers struggling because of it. and
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah, like people on the
And it
street
really
begging for food. Yeah.
Yeah, because there was just nothing. It was just, you were just following these two dudes, and if you weren't 100% locked into what was being said to them or by them, you'd miss the story. And let
Yeah.
me tell you, I don't know if you know me very well, guys, but I'm not often
Yeah.
100% locked in.
Like you say, it's like whatever these 4 or 5 people say is the truth of events. Doesn't matter what anyone else says. Doesn't matter that they're all, quite rich and well off in this society. But yeah, it ends on a very passionate speech, and then just
Does
sort
it?
of
I think I
stops.
forgot the speech, to be honest with you. About
It's not
what
good.
did it?
Quite like 2 people she's meant to care about have just died, and she's like, "See everyone, it's all going to be fine now." Like her first instinct is to address the crowd. It's just like that. That feels a bit corny, and it feels like you're watching a stage play rather than a film. But
Like they're all about to just take a bow.
like literally, the whole cast is out there in the amp in a line.
I do feel, though, it wraps itself all up nicely at the end. And I
Yeah.
don't know how a sequel's going to come from it.
I'm wondering how the sequel's going to address all the turbulence happened in history from this point. Because you've got these fictionalized versions of characters going, everything's fine, everything's black and white, it's all sorted, don't worry.
No, I'm just sad that there weren't any boats in this one.
Yeah, they just had tiger trapdoors and
Yeah.
chariots.
What tigers and
Yeah.
lions? I want boats.
I was impressed that the chariots were in this one, to be fair, because I didn't expect that. I just expected gladiator fights, and obviously I know it happened, but I didn't think it would be a thing in this. I did quite like that for a bit of color of like the Colosseum had more than one use.
To be fair, the chariot scene was one of my favourite scenes in the whole film.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
That was good.
Just shows him
Was it-
being a brilliant general, even with a bunch of untrained gladiators.
Yeah, you get having a little chat with them. Anyone been in the army? Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
And only one person
really
answers, and he's like, "Oh, good, you can help me." And then like 60% of them listen to them, and the rest of them just like walk off and die.
There's one ex-squaddy paintballing, and he's like, right, so any cadets before, and I'm like, right, come over here, don't make sure I see.
And he's like 45 and also never been in the military.
He was in MBGS.
That guy that said, yeah, I've been in the, I've fought. He said that he fought for him in the past.
Yeah, there was one that had fought for him, and then the German guy, the big guy who was testing the gladiators, he'd fought against him.
He was like, were you in Germany?
Might have been a little naughty boy in Germany. Sorry, guys. Sorry, that was my bad. I threw some spikies at the gladiator. Oh no. Bad German. I should do that voice more. That's a bit of fun. But yeah, that's got to feel a bit like shit when you're sat in that conversation. He's like, has anyone served in combat? And you're like, yeah. I nearly died for you, bro. I was right.
And it got me here, mate.
Right by your side. Like, I actually got I got stabbed, and it was you that told me to get stabbed. So my name's Derek, and I've worked for you for 25 years.
Pulls his top up, got a tattoo of Maximus's face on his chest.
I think I got a card from your PA on my 20th anniversary working for you. It's all right, yeah. Shall we go into the predictions?
Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah.
I forgot what predictions we made.
Good.
I forgot how we do this podcast.
We all just in silence were like,
So, did the film meet your expectations?
yes.
No, I honestly, if you'd asked me the question, Rhys, would you enjoy a film about the Roman Empire and following a dude up to fighting in the Colosseum, and there's some bloody battles in it, and there's some cool uniforms? Would you reckon you'd enjoy that? I'd be like, yeah, that's my entire cup of fucking tea. I will love it. And I'm never going to watch this fucking film again. It's so mid. Like, it's... There's nothing outstanding about this film. It's not met my expectations at all. I was very disappointed. I thought at least there's going to be some cool gladiator battles in it with really like intense moments. But every battle was just low stakes. Because I was like, well, he's got to win these ones. So he's gonna. There's nobody else that I've been built up to care about in any of these battles, so I don't care if they die or not.
Is he
And
German?
then Well, even in the final one, you're like, well, I fucking know neither of them can die because I've seen the trailer of the sequel. So, what do you want from me?
They did.
Like, yeah, well, no, I mean, like, I know he's not going to die. So I was like, yeah, he's just good guy win. There was no intensity to the battle. It was cool that the last bit was cool when he was having like images of what it might be like to die. That was kind of cool.
Did
It was
die
just,
though,
oh,
to be clear. You did see that, didn't
I mean, the main guy, Maxi, little Maxi Pad.
you? Yeah, he died.
He didn't die. What?
He did die.
Yeah, he died.
He bled out in the arena.
Oh my god! That's like the whole point at the end.
I cried because someone almost died.
Did
Yeah,
you tune out
look,
when
guys,
Commodus died? Like,
Obviously, I'm an idiot here. But if you make a fucking film about gladiators and the gladiator dies and I don't even remember, it's only been a week and I barely remembered who died at the end. And now, even knowing that they're dead, I don't care.
it hasn't changed
it
your
was nothing.
opinion, no.
I feel I gained nothing from it. My reason for watching was so I can watch the sequel because that looks cool. But now I'm a little bit worried the sequel might not be cool because I feel this one in the trailers probably would look really cool.
Mm. And now, Maximus isn't in it, so.
So he's dead and Joaquin is dead
Also dead.
too?
Yes.
Also dead.
Yeah.
Yes.
But the kid's not because the Lucius is. So
I
it's
believe
Lucius
he's in the sequel. Lucius is the main guy in the sequel.
Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, I think I know that much. Didn't meet my expectations. Soz.
So you mean I suppose I didn't have much of an expectation because it's not a film that I'd go around and watch by myself. But it's a film that if someone said let's watch this, I'd watch it. So in that sense, it kind of did what I wanted it to do. It's not something that I'd
Appeared on
watch
your
again.
TV.
Entertained you for several hours.
Yeah, I don't know if I'd watch it again soon, purely for me because it was so bloody. There were a lot of it that was like I can't quite look at that. There was lots of it was just a lot bloodier than I thought it'd be. So that bit took me by surprise a little bit.
True to Rome. They like their bloody entertainment.
Yeah. At one point, I do remember thinking and glad that we have like modern ways of
Coronation
having
Street.
fun now because I don't want to have to go watch that.
Yeah, fair enough.
Yeah.
So wrestling tonight then. What about you, Andy? Then versus now, from what you remember from then.
Well, I honestly didn't remember the first half of the film. I was surprised when he started to suggest, like, I don't remember this. I enjoyed watching it. I'm not going to watch it again. It is very, like Rhys says, it's just expositional fighting, and it was okay. I'm sure when I was younger and I watched it, I thought, oh, this is awesome. Look at all that blood and gore. Amazing. But the fight scenes, whilst were good with the effects, the fighting seemed really kind of basic looking at it. Like, the choreography wasn't the best. But I suppose to get those effects, you can't be too complicated, otherwise it'll just be a nightmare for like the blood splatters and stuff.
It's gotta be
Editing's very
difficult to
choppy as
choreograph
well.
a fight like that because
Hmm.
you can't do anything but clash swords, really. Because if the swords didn't clash, someone died. Like, so there wasn't a lot you could do with it, I guess. Because otherwise it would look really silly, I guess, if they did lots of like spinning and lightsaber shit. Like, so yeah, it is a tough one. I'm struggling to think of how it would have been that entertaining to watch in real life that many years ago. Like two dudes at a distance,
40 meters away, two
taking a-
guys taking turns.
taking a
hitting each
decent shot at each other,
other. Yeah.
and most of the time, no one even died. It's just one
Just a
person.
boring
gave
old
up 'cause they
maiming,
lost.
yeah.
Yeah, they'd either get a little bit injured or lose their weapon and just yield. Yeah, I don't even know if it was that. But the choreography left a lot to be desired, didn't it?
Yeah, I think it has aged. I remember liking it a lot more when it first came out. I think back then I did just appreciate battles and violence, like was hinted at. It's like films at that time, you usually had to fast forward through the drama to get to the action, and that was just mostly action with a little bit of very light, superficial chatter between. Having a bit more of appreciation for history now, I get distracted by the historical inaccuracies. It's like, well, that didn't happen. So I find myself get pulled out of the plot by knowing about that time in history a bit. Yeah, I still enjoyed rewatching it, but it didn't strike me as a deep drama watching it in the last couple of years. It strikes me as, like a guilty pleasure, cheap action film, kind of like watching The Expendables or something like that. It's just, you put it on because you want to see some violence on screen and have some white noise in the background while you're doing something else. But yeah, I suppose watching it for the first time, if you don't know the plot, that might still work. But I think because I already know the story, I can zone in and out of it a bit more. But I won't watch it again probably this year or next. I'll probably put it on in a couple of years' time and restart the cycle. And
I've got to say, one thing this film did, which for me is always a bonus when a film does this, is it made me want to look up more about that time period and what happened, just to kind of just get something that
Because it
I
got
like
so much
to.
wrong.
It's something that I like to do so much, to be able to go, okay, that maybe wasn't something I'll watch again, but from that I can now spend some time looking at this, and just like learn loads more things. So that's a bonus for me.
yeah,
It's definitely like a fascinating time period, and
Mhm.
there's something about just the aesthetic and the storytelling of Rome around that time I really enjoy. But I think to your point about the historical inaccuracies just being distracting, I think that is, you kind of vocalized it for me. That is, I think that's the thing that made me not pay attention and go on my phone and forget who died, is because I'm like, well, none of this happened anyway. I'm too, because there's so many interesting stories in that time period. Why make one up that's not even like a quarter true? It's really weird, and it's clearly not it's not a great story, is it? Like, is it even a good story? Like,
well,
man,
this was apparently a popular novel before it was a film. That's where the story came from.
because like the crux of it is what? Man gets kicked out of army, basically, because he nearly takes power, comes back
Yeah.
to avenge his old mate, doesn't.
His family.
Yeah, it's not a great story. It was distracting how it was just. I don't use real names from the time period if you want to just make an original story, or do,
Mhm.
but be a little bit truer to the story. And nothing's accurate
Yeah,
around that time.
make it
There's a
obvious
billion
you're taking a big
interpretations.
segue. Yeah.
Yeah, there's loads of interpretations of the events. No one's ever going to be able to say exactly how Commodus died and things like that. But you could be a little bit truer to it, or just totally ignore it. Like, it was really distracting how they just went, "Oh, we'll just keep the names and the vibe."
Yeah.
Yeah, because Commodus isn't exactly one of the most well-known Caesar. He's not like Julius Caesar, where like everyone's heard that name. So yeah, why
Who?
use it? So what do we think the sequel's going to be about?
Boats. We talked about this.
Boats and hoes.
Sea fight.
Yeah, I fucked things up in my head, and for some reason, I was certain I saw Joaquin Phoenix in the trailer for it.
Maybe in a flashback?
So
Yeah,
I watched
maybe.
the whole thing, being like, "Oh, the Commodus survives," but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I thought I saw him in the trailer for it.
No, that was Denzel Washington
saw-
you saw.
I always get those two mixed up. I fucked up who was going to be in it, so I spent the whole time being like, I wonder how he shows up in the second one. So I know not from the trailer, because I got very little from the trailer. I saw a trailer in the cinema a while ago, and I just saw that there were boats in the Colosseum. So that's the only thing I know from the trailer and the missed memory of Joaquin being in it. I know from accidentally Googling the cast of this Gladiator, the cast of Gladiator 2 came up, and I saw the name Lucius. So I know Lucius is there or thereabouts. And interestingly, it's not going to be the same actor, which is annoying. Apart from that, I don't know what the next story is, because, as you've kind of alluded to, it's a messy time period anyway.
Are they going to gloss over that, or I don't know what they're going to do with it?
Yeah, I don't know how far ahead they're going to go. I think that's an interesting one. Are they going to go like next generation, like 10 years, or are they going like 20, 30 years on? Because I think that makes a big difference.
See, I accidentally just looked up all that information.
I accidentally Googled the plot.
And I scroll down, and it comes up with not like.
Are we going to cover the sequel?
Spoilers.
Because now I'm fucked up. I don't really know where a sequel could go. I can only assume, like, Lucius wasn't that attached to Maximus, so I don't see that being relevant in the sequel, like his death or anything. He didn't seem to have that much of a link to Commodus, to be fair. He was just a bit of a father figure to him by the seams of it. But so I can only assume that there's going to be a power struggle between Lucius and his mother.
It can only be resolved with shark fights.
And they're going to get mixed up in some way, because someone else is going to come and be with his mum and try and overthrow Rome. So Lucius has to get an old gladiator pal, who's probably going to be one of the guys from Maximus's entourage, to come and fuck things up. Did we see Maximus's son dead? Did we see the body?
Yeah.
He was crucified
So he's
and burned.
He was also trampled
Yeah,
by
but
horses to begin with.
So was Big
Yeah.
J, homie, and he came back.
Who?
Our Lord and Savior. Jesus Christ.
Oh, okay. Oh, that guy.
Yeah, who came back from the dead with crucifixion? I don't know that one.
Nothing jumps to mind.
So yeah, I'm not sure here. I reckon there's got to be a relative of Maximus, like a young relative, like a nephew or a something. I reckon he's going to come and be a big deal in a sequel, because you can't have a sequel without that name. Surely something Decimus Meridius.
So my interpretation of the plot from trailers and things is that Lucius obviously no longer in line for emperor because everything's gone really well after Commodus died. So he's just at a loose end, you know.
A
so
Lucius end.
But the implication is he's, actually maybe Maximus's child. Who knows? Because there was some kind of tension between his mum and Maximus. And then, he's actually found out about his lineage and wants to take after him to become the gladiator for some motivation that I'm unclear about. We'll
Have you
see.
seen the actor who's playing Lucius?
Isn't it Paul Mescal?
Scrawny boy.
Hmm.
He's not a big muscly boy.
He's a beardy
I
mullet
can't see him
boy.
being a gladiator. I don't.
I reckon it's just going to be a cash grab. It's going to have no relation to the first film, and there's just going to be gladiatorial fights and probably a few more boobs out because of modern time.
You thinking like
Yeah.
full action, just like exploiting the name Fast and Furious style, just all action.
That is what I'm guessing.
I'll enjoy that. I'll enjoy that. To be fair.
So
Maybe go a bit Game of Thronesy, just get loads of nudity in there, action nudity.
So Ridley Scott he's saying that Gladiator is the film he's most proud of, and any sort of historical epic he's tried since Gladiator, he's trying to make it Gladiator again, but it's taken him this long to try Gladiator 2. So he tried it with Robin Hood, he tried it with Kingdom of Heaven, tried it with Napoleon. He was trying to hit that mark again and become this big remembered film. But Gladiator 2, yeah, it looks a bit trashy compared to those. Like, it doesn't strike me as epic. It strikes me as come and watch it. It's more Gladiator CGI sharks. I don't think it's going to compare at all to the first. I don't think it's even going to compare to Napoleon in a couple of years ago.
Ridley Scott said this is the movie he's most proud of.
He did Alien and he's really proud of Gladiator. Yeah. He did Blade Runner and he's really proud of Gladiator.
Is he okay?
I can't understand.
I don't think he's been okay since Prometheus, to be honest. That was sort of a good indicator that things were going downhill.
Has he got kids? Because I can imagine like two of them are like CEOs and film directors, and one of them lives in his basement, and he's like, yeah, he's the one I'm most proud of. He can do a Sudoku so fast.
So his son, Jake, real name Jason, British film director who works in music videos and commercials. Luke James Scott is film, commercial, and television director. He did he worked on The Martian, good stuff. Jordan, British filmmaker and photographer. So yeah, they all followed in his footsteps.
He's most proud of Jordan.
I mean, yeah, Jordan doesn't seem to have done as much in the filmography, and there's a big gap between 2009 and 2024.
Jordan's really good at black and white pictures. He's arty.
Jordan's got 7 MySpace accounts.
I am curious about the gap between 2009 and 2024 on Jordan's filmography. There is just a blank gap of 15 years.
It's called cocaine, my friend. That is called My Daddy's Ridley Scott. Give me a job and I'll fucking do loads of blow for 10 years.
He had to go to Bali to find himself.
For 15 years.
Insane. The guy that made Alien prefers Gladiator is insane to me.
Is that why he used Russell Crowe for Robin Hood?
I believe so, and why he used Joaquin Phoenix for Napoleon. He's trying to recapture that magic, but
for fuck's sake.
Yeah. Right, should we go into predictions then?
Yeah.
So Rhys,
I predict I would forget everything about it.
You didn't. To be honest, you did all right. So the first one I pulled out was that you thought Joaquin Phoenix would be the Emperor because he's a guy that has not been hench before. That was your logic for it.
I have a really bizarre talent for knowing which celebrities have been hench. So that's don't fuck with me on that.
You predicted that Russell Crowe was going to have to fuck over the Emperor in a fight, but you also predicted that it would be a silverback gorilla involved or other animal, which I suppose the tigers. That was the Emperor trying to fuck him over. So yeah,
They weren't involved in the Emperor fight, though. Really, were they?
yeah, but it was the Emperor was hoping it was certain to lose. So I'll give you that. You predicted the Gladiator would die by the end. If I asked you 10 minutes ago, you would have thought you were wrong then, but you were actually right.
No way did I predict the fucking death.
You also predicted there would be some kind of love story between the fights that keeps the story moving. Was there?
No, not really. There
I
was
wouldn't say
nothing.
so. He used to love Lucilla. He's angry that his wife's dead. That's basically
Yeah.
it for
Does
love
this
story.
movie pass the old Bechdel? I think it does, right? Because she's not really a love interest.
But
Like,
does she
much.
talk to other women about anything other than men? I think
No,
she's the
she's
only
the
woman in it.
at the start where she talks to another woman and they're just spying on Maximus.
So the only
You have
time
to-
two
I
women
think
are on
part of the
screen
Bechdel
together.
test is that they're named characters, though, aren't they?
Yeah, two named female characters talk about something
So-
other than one of the men. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, since
that
Amy can't remember her name anyway, so it fails the whole time through.
She's so forgettable. Yeah.
I can't remember anyone's name. It's not personal.
That was your predictions, Rhys. Amy predicted that he'd rise up the ranks in the arena and pulled off the street and become the best gladiator. Which at one point he was literally lifted off the street in front of his dead family and then did become the best gladiator. But yeah, it wasn't a,
Rags to
Karate
riches.
Kid style, training montage.
That would have been a
because-
good movie. That would have been really good.
The Rocky of Rome, yeah. You also predicted he'll have a friend who'll die in the arena, triggering a revenge plot. There was a revenge plot.
Yeah.
And a very close friend did die, triggering this revenge plot, being his wife. But not in the arena. Arenas were not involved at all until after his wife died. So,
That's all I had.
based on this, would you consider watching more films like this that you've missed, Rhys?
Well, the two that come to mind are Troy and Spartacus.
Yeah. What about like Kingdom of Heaven, another Ridley Scott historical film?
Well, if he's not as proud of that one, then I don't see the point, to be honest.
Yeah.
I don't see the point in watching any other Ridley Scott movie if this is the best one. I don't know. I've not heard of that one. I think it's made me. I just have a huge passion for all things of this era, so I would absolutely be up for it. But what this movie's done is it's made me more wary of like looking a bit more into what it's focusing on in it. So I wouldn't just blindly go in being like, oh, it's got gladiators in it, I'll enjoy it. If it's all action, fine. But I think I'd rather watch one that's slightly more historically accurate with a little bit more drama. There wasn't enough drama in this for me. So I'd like to watch one that's a little bit more characterized. But yeah, it hasn't put me off and it hasn't turned me on. It's just made me a little bit more wary.
You may actually like Kingdom of Heaven then, but it's not Roman era.
Yeah.
Well, you
but it
mentioned
has made me want to watch the sequel.
Okay.
Andy's prediction has made me want to
Spartacus
watch
then.
the sequel way more.
So Spartacus, the film I mentioned, it was from the 1960s. You're not going to want to watch this, mate. Guess how long it is.
Ah, bro. Is it more
Not
than
90
3
minutes.
It is.
hours? Nah, fuck that. Nah. Bin that
No.
shit off.
Off the list.
What about Troy? Is Troy worth watching? I've heard of Troy.
Yeah, I'd recommend Troy. Troy is quite long, but it's
2 hours 43.
I think it's a better balance.
Fuck off with this. What I thought movies over 88 minutes only started in 2014.
The Avengers
good old days
invented
had it
long
right.
films. 90
Well,
minutes
it was
and done. Yeah.
Godfather and then Avengers. Like that, the gap between, they had it perfectly at 88 minutes.
I don't know what other films are out there that I've not seen. I've seen Troy. I've not watched any of the others that you just mentioned. Kingdom of
Heaven.
Heaven. That's the one. I think it's something that I'd watch like this if someone was like, we're going to watch this now, and I'd be like, all right, okay. But it's not something I'd seek out myself to sit down and watch.
Yeah. Are you going to go ahead and watch the sequel now that you've just spoiled it for yourself?
I think I'd like to, purely because of what I've just read there and because of the boats.
What was your comment, Rhys, on pop culture?
We've covered like big movies, like big names that have had big impacts, and this one included. And I think this is the first one where I didn't have any influence from pop culture references really with this. Like, I didn't watch this being like, oh, I've seen a parody of that, or oh, I've seen, like, yeah, I've heard Are You Not Entertained, but only in this context. And I've vaguely aware of the I Am Maximus Decimus Meridius, but only in this context. So it's one of the few that I didn't have any of that pop culture like bleeding into it. Like, no Family Guy episodes I'd seen that it parodied it or anything. I just wondered if Amy had any similar influences going into this, or did you watch it being like, oh shit, that's that thing, and now I know where that's from?
Yeah, I can't think of any pop culture reference that has anything to do with this. Because there was no point that I watched and went, oh yeah, that I've seen that from that. It was just all, I think, like you, Rhys, it's bits that I knew just that I knew them from this film, not from anything else.
From adverts for the film.
I wasn't really aware of this when it came out. So similarly to the other films we've done, we know they made huge impacts on their genres and stuff like that. Like, did anything happen from Gladiator? Did it like set off any careers or change any genres? Or like, is it a big impact film, or was it just something of its time that was good at the time and received well?
It sort of propelled Joaquin Phoenix's career forward. It was certainly spoke about a lot in my circles in school. Like, a lot of people like to quote it and do that whole speech from heart, and it was a really cool thing if you remember the speech for some reason. It did win Oscars, so it was talked about for quite a while after its release. A few films did follow it, like Troy and stuff. I'm pretty sure they all came within a few years after
this.
Okay. So did the other ones you met, like Robin Hood and shit, they followed this, did they?
Yeah. He did a lot of historical films after this. Like I say, he was trying to recapture it, but I wouldn't recommend a lot of them. But.
That was like the one film this was kind of a bit reminiscent of. Have I seen the Russell Crowe Robin Hood? I haven't, no, but I've seen the Taron Egerton one. And it was a bit reminiscent of that, in that there was like, it is kind of a story of like someone fighting somewhere being really important, and then going off, being put in a different setting, having to work their way up a little bit in that setting, but still being a fighter, and then kind of going after the person in power. So it was really reminiscent of that, to be fair. So yeah, if it kind of kicked off the popularity of that, it makes a bit of sense, I guess.
Yeah.
But it's surprising that it set off Joaquin's career, because I don't feel it was a big part he played, really. It wasn't a lot of acting done. There was, I don't know, just pretty straightforward dialogue and then a fight scene.
Yeah, he was just.
I feel anyone could have played that character.
Yeah. Just a hateable guy. I think I saw an interview a while ago where he was talking about how nervous he was doing this because it was one of his first big productions, and how he had to like follow the lead of the other actors on set who were a bit more senior and stuff. Yeah, so I think
guess now from what we know, Russell Crowe was probably abusing the shit out of him as well on set.
Didn't you read something about the guy that played Proximus and Maximus?
Yeah, so Russell Crowe and the guy that played Proxima did not get on. And in fact, they almost came to blows at one point in the filming. But they were both busy mates with Dumbledore.
Oh.
Everyone loves Dumbledore.
Did Proxima and Dumbledore ever seen together?
No, he died before we met him.
Yeah, so I think Joaquin being in this film then meant he could get a role on Signs and then a role in The Village from that. And that's sort of when he became mainstream, wasn't it?
I didn't really know his name until... I know him from Signs, reflectively, but I feel like he had a big gap in his career as well, Joaquin, though, didn't he? Like, in the sort of mid-2010s, did he do...
Oh, we talking about when he did his weird satirical comeback where he became a rapper or something?
I feel like I didn't see him much until Joker then.
Yeah. I struggle to name 10 films he's in.
Yeah, he hasn't actually been in a lot. Like,
no.
You look at his IMDb page, it's like a movie every 2 years. How is he so fucking big? I don't get it.
Well, isn't it? He's big before. It was big because of his family, isn't he?
In 1973, the family joined the religious cult known as the Children of God. So he's had a really normal life.
He does look like he would be part of the cult, doesn't he?
Let's move on from him, because his life's a bit of a downer.
Yeah. Making us all sad.
So they had lots of like links with other famous people.
Yeah.
So I think before this, he was known because of being in that family.
I think we've pretty much covered everything, unless we got any afterburners.
I think we've
gone a bit beyond what we normally
Yeah,
do.
a lot of this is getting cut, don't worry.
Yeah.
I was looking, when Amy was talking, he just entered the arena with the Emperor at like 55 minutes of recording. I was like, this is going to be a really short episode.
20 minutes to cut that is just the Phoenix family.
Yeah.
Yeah, how did we make Breakfast Club like 6 hours long? And yet this is like going to be like an hour.
I think it's because only one person took notes, Rhys, but it's fine. Okay, with that, all I can ask is, aren't you entertained? We'll see you next time. Bye.
That's some good shit. See you later, bro.
Bye.
Shadows crawl. We sift through films big and small. Projectors flicker, tapes rewind. Chasing stories we have yet to find. It's a dead spot cinema club. We've seen some things, but we haven't seen enough. With popcorn dreams and midnight screens, we're chasing scenes through broken beams.